Oh, hiya. Cylinder's leaking. Cylinder holding tool. Gland removal tool. Oh. Taking the breather out. Yeah, that has clearly passed oil inside the cylinder. Holy. Tough one. Are you ready? It's not looking much better, is it?
No.
Not pleased with that. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we have got a job on the lathe to do. So I have this hydraulic cylinder. This is off the front linkage for the Fordson Major, and these barrels are scored to hell. So what we're going to do is hopefully cut the eye off here, so machine through the weld, and we'll be able to reuse the eye and then put a new barrel on. So the first thing that we need to do is to put a centre drill in here. I've had the DTI on it and it's about as close as I can get it. So first time using a centre steady, I've had to put a little bit of paper in there because for some reason this top one doesn't come out as far as the rest, doesn't travel as far. Just about fits on the inside of this chuck. Get these welded onto the new cylinder tube, cut the new tube to length plus an inch or so, and then what I'll be able to do is hold that in here, and I'll be able to do what I need to do in terms of getting it ready for threading. Now I might take it to work and get the fella at work to thread it because their lathe has got a lot bigger spindle size in it, so their cylinder will go through and be gripped on the external face rather than having to be gripped on the internal face. Alternatively, if I put a plug in that end, I can run a live centre here and I can grip that in my four-jaw chuck and then potentially do it that way, or I could band it and put the centre steady back on. Not too sure what we're going to do yet, but these have been banded originally when they were made at the factory, so we might do that and keep the consistent original look. So yeah, got a bit of a sore throat today for some reason, sound a bit croaky, and I need to go and get my parting off tool, which work have very kindly borrowed me, so thank you very much, work. So first job before I forget, put the centre drill in. Now I don't want to go too deep with that because obviously there's only a little gap there and a little bit of space, so the deeper we go, the weaker it's going to be. I have used my little set square just to make sure the cutting tool is square to the workpiece, and it's looking pretty good. Let's speed it up. We slowed it down, it's lots better. A lot better. No chatter. Nice and quiet. 50mm thereabouts. We should be somewhere near ready now for it to pop off. So because we are down to the right diameter, what I'm going to do is just move the carriage this way a bit and just take another sliver off here, and then we'll see if we can separate it. Unless it will go now. Something's moving. Quite what from where? Alright, so we have broken through just about. It's just about broken through on this edge. So what I can do is just go slightly more with it, just to... Oh no, there we go, we're off. So what we need to do now is put the smaller chuck in there after, and we'll chuck it in here, and then we can just machine the last little bit off. So one down, one to go. Got the second one off. Second one came out really well because we knew roughly how far we had to go to find the line from the first one. So a lathe is like my bank balance. It's a lot easier to make it smaller and a lot harder to make it bigger. So I've got this little chuck on its shaft. Goes in the big chuck. Not ideal because it increases any run out if there is any in the original chuck, but we're on the centre, and for what we're doing, just trimming that back so we've got a 5mm gap is more than adequate. So that is our next job. As we can see there, we have now broken through, and you can see the little bit of metal there. I've got something to show you with, has come away. So I'll back the tool out. And what am I doing? So as we can see, that now has come away. So we can pull that off and we're back down to the original size. So, happy days. Let's do the next bit. So now we've got the tube cut, put it in the lathe, grabbing it on the outside so I don't have to worry about the soft jaws. I've lightly marked it here and here so I can band it. This tube is 60mm OD and the original ones were 62 possibly. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take minimal off here just so that it's cleaned up, and we can run it on the centre steady when we turn it around to tidy the end up, and then we'll weld the end on, and then once we've done that we can cut it then to the correct length and do the rest of the machining work. Got the band on now, cleaned it up with a little bit of emery cloth, put the VTI on it, just gonna find the high and the low. So there is a high, so we'll tap it away and we'll get it somewhere near, then we can put the centre steady in place. And that is very much luck, but it's pretty good to be fair. Don't need our technical shims this time, which is good. Still spins nice and free. Yeah, next job is going to square this end up, then put a bevel on it, so we have somewhere for the weld to go. Ish. Next thing I'm going to do is put my next band on here ready, and then that'll make it easier then once we need to get to what we need to do later on in terms of threading, etc.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream.
Now got the two new barrels banded. Don't know why they said he's left a mark on that one, but not on that one. Must have had a little bit of something in it, but that'll polish out, that's not a problem. These are now in nice and tight. Well, maybe that one's not, but that one is. So yeah, they're now ready to come off. Have a clean inside. I'll give all this a clean out. Give the bit around here a good wire wheel and that, take the copper washer out of there out the way as well. And then that'll be ready for welding. So we've got a nice little bevel there we can weld it with. So I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to use the arc welder on this or whether I'm going to use the MIG. I've got that little bit of steel left down there, so what I'm thinking of doing is just cutting that, putting a bevel on it and just seeing what welds best, whether I get a better weld with the MIG or the arc welder. So yeah, we've got the new barrels, and over here we have a new candy stick. It's like Christmas, isn't it? Just like Christmas, but this is EN14 chrome plated rod. This is going to be our welding setup. So we've got a couple of V-blocks, old V-blocks, second hand, keeping them off the banding. That I've done a couple of test runs on a couple of pieces, so I'm happy with the penetration and whatnot that we're getting. I've got a sash clamp I'm going to put on there just to pull that in tight and square, because we know the face is square, which will do for that. I found an old wheel nut, bolt, stud, wheel bolt, M14 by 1.5 thread, so I screwed that in there just to stop any spatter going down in there, because once this is welded on I'm not going to be able to actually get to it to really clean it out very well. So that's the plan for that. I'm going to put a piece of cardboard inside the tube for the earth clamp to sit on, so it doesn't mark the inside of the cylinder, even though this section at the end is going to get cut off anyway. I purposely made it too long. And hopefully things will go quite well. Put 3 tacks on it, maybe 4 opposites, just to stop it falling off, so I can take the clamp off and rotate it easy. The plan is I'm going to be able to turn this with my hand, which is why I got it on the thresholds, because it's higher and it's more comfortable, saves me bending over. And that's about it. I'll show you the test piece we've done first though. It's a bit warm, so we started off tracking it. 90 amps, 100 amps, 110 amps. I don't know whether you can see inside, but it's burnt off inside, so that's nice. The piston will actually not come down to where the join is, so it doesn't matter. But the good thing is on this anyway, we do actually have the recess that goes inside the shoulder, whereas on that it was just a straight fillet onto the butted up piece. So yeah, hopefully things will go well. I'll go and get the sash clamp to clamp that, and we'll get going on it. This now is our setup. We have the sash clamp pulling it this way to a square face, and got this little clamp just holding the sash clamp so it doesn't slide off when I was putting it in position. I can now put my earth onto the sash clamp, which is good. I'm going to put it there because that'll help me later on. And I'm going to turn the welder up another 5 amps, because we've got a little bit more to weld now. Yeah, I'll get it tacked on using 2.5mm rods. And once it's tacked on, you can burn it in. Wish I never had to wear glasses though, because it does make it a bit of a pain for this job. Never mind. Struggle on. That's going nowhere now, so clamp can come off. That can go in. That just stops it arcing to the inside of the tube, which I don't really want, if I can help it. Flip it 90. Couple more tacks, and then we can weld. Mask can help, Lisa. Mask can help. It's what you like, it's what. Okay, so I preloaded the earth because I don't have a thingamajig, you know, that's earths and spins. So let's get welding. Health and safety. Need some more rods. The original idea was I was going to leave the weld on show, but I ended up with the amps a little bit too high, which made for a bit too much spatter, more than what I wanted. And unfortunately, to do what I intended to do, you need a very steady hand, which unfortunately I don't have. But what makes you bad with a welder makes you good with a grinder. So all I'm going to do now is just give this a bit of a clean with some envy cloth, just to get rid of a few of the scratch marks, and we're good to go pretty much. The original eye is couple of mil bigger than the tube that's available now. For some reason, I don't know why that is. So when you look at it, you can see the one blended all in. And I've left a couple of arms on to see where the welds to take them off. Can't see why you would. These should last it out now. And yeah, just a case now of firing it up and we get off on there and job's a good one. And there we are. Nice and shiny-ish. But it's a hydraulic cylinder. It looks quite tidy for a hydraulic cylinder. Yeah, on the whole, I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. It's 50 by 250 by an inch. Yeah, I'm thinking that whatever the W or the VP, whatever means, it's single acting, but I don't know. I'm not really clued up on hydraulic cylinders in terms of all their spec numbers, but I know that's a size anyway. So yeah, on the whole, looks pretty good.